Hey there friends, I'm bringing you my first Bleach Immortal Soul video, and today we're going to be talking about the Seireitei challenge. Now, this is definitely not the toughest game mode in Bleach Immortal Soul, but there's still plenty we can learn about it, so let's get into it. Now, before we even go into the challenge, I want to show you 3 things you can do ahead of time to improve your performance. The first place I want us to go is I want to go to characters, check out the War Souls. Now, if you're like me, throughout your play in the game, you've probably seen some War Souls that look like this. Current effect increases ally HP in the Seireitei challenge. You probably looked at those, and if you're like me, you probably immediately just tossed them back on the shelf to gather dust. Like, man, that's only good in the Seireitei challenge. I can't do anything with that. And, well, I mean, you weren't completely wrong. But there's one aspect to these War Souls that is easy to miss, and that's what I want to talk about. So, one thing I want you to notice about War Souls, if you haven't already, I'm sure you've seen it, these little neon-like icons at the top. You know, like the pink triangle, the green square, etc. So these are the type of the War Soul. Each War Soul has a type, and it's important because it affects how it works. So if you look at a War Soul like Soul of Rending, this only has its effect, this is a passive War Soul, so it only has its effect in a match, or in, you know, a mode, anything like that, just while you're in battle. This one, for example, the Soul of Rending, you know, adds bleed chance to your rage skill. So if you have a character who didn't normally have bleed, you can all of a sudden now add bleed to their rage skill, and gives you some other options. So it's a passive effect, because that doesn't really affect your attribute, so it doesn't do anything outside of battle. It's just an effect that's added to your character passively when they're in a battle. Now, if you look at like the Soul of Bastion, this is an attribute War Soul. So this bumps up your attributes. So not only is it going to make your character better in battle, but it's also going to actually increase your overall power even when you're outside of battle, because it boosts your overall attributes. Now, here's why I wanted to talk about this. Notice what type of War Soul all of the Seireitei challenge War Souls are, like the Battle Spirit of Bravery, Battle Spirit of Barrage, Battle Spirit of Physique, etc. They are called Total War Souls. Now, here's what Total War Souls do. After learning, there is no need to deploy for the War Soul to take effect. That's very critical. What you can do with that is, notice what I've done here. So I've got these War Souls from like Komamura, Tessai, Jushiro, characters that aren't in my main lineup. Now, I can equip these War Souls onto characters that I'm not going to normally use throughout playing the game, not my main lineup, and I will still get that boost when I go into the Seireitei challenge, because they don't have to be deployed to use it. Once you equip it to a character, it immediately takes effect, and it's always in effect. So that's a very crucial thing. So they're small boosts, you know, between 1 to 2%. But hey, every little bit helps, right? And if you can do that without taking up a War Soul slot from one of your main starters, then why not do it? So that's number one. The second thing I want to talk about is there are talents also specific. So let's look at Matsumoto, for example. She has a talent that says, in Seireitei challenge, block chance and block pierce chance of all characters increased by 0.8%. So Renji has one too. There's a couple others I believe that do, but they have talents that can enhance your attributes in the Seireitei challenge. Now, what I'm going to say with this is I really don't recommend doing this unless you either have a character you have no intention of using, or if it's a character you might use, you know, maybe after you've gotten them to 6-star, already combined their purple +2 War Soul, and done everything else you need to do with their shards. If you still have shards left over, okay, sure. But character shards are too valuable and rare of a resource that I would say, you know, it's not worth it to use it for the Seireitei challenge talents until like way in game, after you've already done everything you need to do. That I would say is not worth it. The Seireitei challenge War Souls are definitely worth it because you're not really losing anything with that. You're not really using a resource, you're just using empty space. But I would not use character shards just to get a little bit of a boost in the Seireitei challenge. But that aside, number 3. Third thing I want to talk about is the Potion of Life, or the Revival Potion. Now, if you've gone through the Seireitei challenge and you have gotten to the 3rd floor and gotten wiped out, which we all probably have at some point in one of our runs, you've had a pop-up asking you to use a Potion of Revival or a Potion of Life. Now, you probably already had one accidentally, but you didn't really know where you got it from, and you have no idea how to get more. And it's definitely important for you to understand these because they are actually a really rare resource. And how you decide to use the ones you have could not only impact your current Seireitei challenge run, but also impact your future runs too. So that's why I want to talk about it. So if you go to the Quest tab, you'll notice, firstly, there are these treasure chests lined up at the top of the screen and at the bottom. At the top is your daily rewards, at the bottom is your weekly rewards. Now, if you, whenever you claim a quest, any of these, it accrues daily points. And those also count towards your weekly chest. Now, if you notice, in each of these 3 weekly chests, you only get 3 a week. You have a revival potion. So, you can only get 3 revival potions a week. But as long as you're doing your daily quests, you're definitely going to get them. And coincidentally, the Seireitei challenge you can only do once every 48 hours, or about 3 times a week. So, if you play your cards right, you have about 1 Potion of Life you can use per Seireitei challenge. So you definitely want to make sure you are judicious with your use of that resource. Now, the very first time you lose a fight in the Seireitei challenge, you'll get prompted to use it. Don't do it. Because what it does is it revives all of your characters. And that's going to come into play later, but you don't want to use it after you've just lost your first 6. You can keep battling and go through your entire roster. Then you can revive. So those are the 3 things I want to talk about that you can do ahead of time to prep to give yourself the best chance in the Seireitei challenge. Now, let's dive in and look at the challenge. So you can find the Seireitei challenge under the challenge tab. It is a labyrinth-style, game board-style game mode where you advance across squares on a game board across 3 different floors, and depending on the tile or the square you land on, different things happen. It's available once every 48 hours, so once you run through all 3 floors, if you're able to make it through, you're done until the 48-hour timer is up. So you only really get one shot at it. Unless you get that revival potion, then you can revive your characters. Try again, but once you've cleared all 3 floors, you have to wait until 48 hours is up. So, where you start in the Seireitei challenge, this is what the map looks like. There's several different types of tiles you can run into. So, the first thing that you want to do is if you see these, they look like the little Senkai gates. You want to click on those because those give you characters. So look, here I can choose between a Kenpachi, a Zangetsu, Ichigo, and Toshiro. Now, what I like to do with these, obviously if you see someone like super strong, you want to look at the power. So the highest power thing I can pick here is Zangetsu. What I like to do is I like to prioritize getting backups of my main roster or similar roles to my main roster. So like, I run Toshiro, Ichigo, Kenpachi, Zangetsu, Byakuya, and Matsumoto. So if I can see like a really high power one of those, I want to grab it so I have a backup. So even if they get knocked out, I can still continue on with my same lineup. So in this case, I'm going to grab Zangetsu, confirm. Now look, I can do another one again. Or I can take a battle. Now here's kind of, you have to make choices because you can only go a certain path through the game board. You can't go back, you have to go forward. So it's kind of like an opportunity cost. So let's take a fight because the first 4 fights are going to be really easy. So we're going to deploy. We're going to take this battle real quick. Yeah, so the floors definitely advance in difficulty as you go up. the chest at the end, the reward chest at the end after you beat the boss, also seem to get better as you go. See, that fight was really easy. Excuse me. Now, here's another thing I want to talk about. Because you see these things called treasures. Every time you win a fight in the Seireitei challenge, you get the option to choose treasures. And they're different rarities. There's rare, epic, elite. There's different tiers to it. Now, what I found is really useful. Crit is super strong. Anything that increases your crit chance, anything that increases your crit damage is super strong. If you keep stacking those, you can get to some ridiculous values. And even on the third floor, be clearing waves with one round of rage attacks. So in this case, we have a few after battle recover HP. There's a boost for Tiger Souls, but the one I like here, let's see. Yes, this one increases lifesteal rates by 30% and attack by 30%. So we're definitely gonna take that. All right, so now this one gets me to another gate. So here we've got Byakuya, Ichiru, Tessai, Gin. Out of this, I'm probably going to take Byakuya again, trying to back up the Byakuya I already have. Now it's time for another fight. We're going to go through here. Now you'll notice that there's different options. There's blue and there's purple. The purple are the harder fights, and then at the end, the boss, you have like an orange/red. Now it doesn't always directly correlate to the rarity of the characters you're going to be going up against, but usually a purple fight is going to be a harder fight than a blue, which it also means it gets better rewards. So we're going to go through this fight. Excuse me, I coughed pretty bad. And again, the first 4 fights are pretty easy. What I'm probably going to do is skip through these until I get to something new to show you. So again, look here. Attack specialty characters, crit chance increased by 20%, attack increased by 20%. Definitely want to take that. Start stacking that crit so you can hit crits every time. Now, if you can, especially on the early floors 1 and 2, if you haven't really even been challenged yet, don't waste your time. Now here is something you can do if you want. If you've taken damage, you have the Urahara's special hot spring. It'll help boost your HP back, get you some healing if you've been taking some damage. On the first couple floors, it's not really going to happen that much. So you really want to avoid wasting that because you want to get more treasures and you want to get, of course, more rewards from the fights. So here I'll get rewards from this fight and I'll also get to pick a treasure at the end, which gives me another chance to stack crit or get some other benefits. Now, there is a particular type of treasure I want to talk to you about, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure we will get to it. Instead, I'm just going to go for crit right now because crit, again, is super valuable. Just going to keep rolling through these fights as I go. Skill specialty, attack and lifesteal. Lifesteal is also super strong. That is interesting though. Like this rare one, so you want to look at the rare ones too. For every 2 rounds, there's a 40% chance to paralyze all enemies. That's pretty strong. So I might actually take that one in this case. So again, we haven't really taken damage, so I don't want to waste the time to heal. Okay. You know, in this case, from this selection, oh no, that rage is pretty good. I think I have to take the rage one. Alright, so now we get to pick another character. So, in this case, the strongest one here is Ichigo, so we'll pick up an Ichigo. And then we'll take the bath, even though we didn't take any damage. And then here is the boss fight for the first floor. So now this is going to be a harder fight than the others, but it's still not going to be really at this point on the first floor anything too troublesome. Yeah, Byakuya just basically wiped them out. There's a nice Bankai Ichigo. You get him for beating the 13th level of the story. Okay, so Dragon Souls, attack increase. I'm gonna take that. And then we have the chest. So the chest for the first level is really nothing too special. It gets better though. By the time you're on the third floor chest, you actually start getting some really good rewards. So you have the option of pulling from the chest up to 10 times in exchange for soul jades. I wouldn't really bother with that until you get to the third floor. So you take a portal and then boom, now you're back on the second floor. So now we'll go back through this. We have nice high power Toshiro. I'm gonna go ahead and grab him. And then let's take this elite fight. But we get another character here. Ooh, we get a nice... Ooh, look at this. Aizen +2, Orange +2, 25k power. Yeah, we're definitely going to take that one. And we get another character too. Definitely never want to really turn them down. I'm going to take this Kenpachi. Because I haven't got a backup Kenpachi yet. And then we'll just take another fight. Alright, crit chance. Always good to take crit chance. We're going to grab that. Continue stacking that until we get to some crazy levels. I'm a little disappointed. Okay, here we go. Alright, we've got one. So, read the Sunstone. So these are something that you might have seen and not really paid much attention to running through the Seireitei challenge. But, read the description of the Sunstone. When HP is lower than 50%, Rage is gained 10% faster. If you possess Moonstone at the same time, Rage is gained 20% faster. So there are these pairs of treasures that combo together, and if you have them both, you get some really good benefits. So you want to watch out for those, because they're usually really good ones to grab. You kind of want to prioritize these, because if you compare them, you know, they enhance each other and give you some overall better stats. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Sunstone and hope we get the Moonstone from another fight here. So definitely always look out for those. Okay, so here we go again. Another combo. Wintry Icicle and Eternal Flame are two other combos. So we're going to grab Wintry Icicle. And we're going to get another character. In this case, we're going to go for another Matsumoto. Just to make sure we have one of her. Okay, here's one we haven't seen yet. So this is the Ancient Shrine. If you've lost a couple of key characters, the shrine will revive one character at random for you. So it can definitely be a really good option. So we're here to the second floor boss. We're going to challenge this real quick. And then on to the third floor. The third floor is where stuff starts to kind of get real. The fights will definitely not go this easily as we advance into the third floor. Let's see, lifesteal. Yeah, lifesteal. For sure. And the chest. Ooh, hey. The second floor chest even gave a soul jade token, so that's pretty good. Alright, so we start off here. Let's take a bath. I don't think we took damage, but it's whatever. We'll take an elite fight. So notice now, we're going up against red level characters. Now, they are NPC characters, so it's not quite the same, but you're still going to definitely notice a jump up in difficulty in these fights. And we may even start to lose characters depending on how this goes. Yeah, this one's even not too bad. And the crit is helping a lot. Because once you start to stack up that crit chance and get to the point where you're critting almost every time, just the damage is explosive. Yeah, look at we're critting almost every hit there. Okay, here we have Sonic Shock. Double the rage gain from killing enemies. We'll take that. Oh, actually, wait a second. Oh, okay, I missed it. So sorry, we missed something there. On this icon, there was the shop. So there's a shop that pops up within the floor. of the Seireitei challenge on one of the 3 floors. And it basically just gives you the option to buy some stuff at a discounted rate, like soul stones, things like that. It's nothing really too special. So I personally have almost never bought anything from the shop, but it's up to you if you want to. It's just kind of a cool extra little thing. So we're going to keep taking fights here. Again, now we're at like, what, red +2? Okay, so here we go. We can choose either the Moonstone or the Eternal Flame. Same time it steals enemy defense. So we'll go ahead and take Eternal Flame and pair it with the Wintry Icicle. And then see if we can get the Moonstone later on. Alright, so 40% more damage. Okay, we'll take that. And then here at this point I'm just taking as many fights as I can to try and build up treasures. Alright, and now we can take the Moonstone, so we've got that pair too. And we're getting close to the end of the 3rd floor. Alright. Lifesteal, I'll take that. This is going pretty well. So this is another good one to look out for. Shield of the Vanguard. It gives you a 10% max HP shield at the start of the match. Just some extra survivability. And here we are on the last fight. So we didn't see the super OP treasure. If you ever come across it though, you'll know it by the effect. Basically, it allows your team to survive with 1 HP if they take a fatal hit. And it's just so strong because you can keep doing it time after time. And it even got to the point where like I beat the 3rd floor boss the last time around in the Seireitei challenge with like Cone and Jinta because they got knocked down to 1 HP, didn't die, and then were able to rage attack and finish off the last member of the boss team. So it's super OP. Definitely watch out for it if you get it. As an option, you want to grab it immediately. So here we are at the 3rd floor boss fight. Typically this is definitely the toughest fight that you'll have. So we'll see how this one goes. I've stacked up a pretty OP team at this point with all the treasures I've gotten for crit and shields. So yeah, they might not even stand a chance against me. That's why you want to make sure you really go in and grab those great treasures as you're going through the floors, grabbing the really strong, attacking characters that can take advantage of those through those Senkai gates, and eventually get to the end. So here's the 3rd floor chest. Now this is the one that I actually like to spend some soul jades on, because look, I got a war soul, I got a high level drawing for improving weapons. You get some good stuff. I've even gotten shards in here, like SSR shards. Though it's not doing it for me now. We did get another Soul Jade token, so there's that. Alright, so that is the Seireitei challenge. So hopefully veterans and new players alike found something to take away from this. And if you enjoyed the video, likes and comments are always appreciated. And if you want to keep up with future content, please feel free to subscribe. I've been Davey Rocket. See you soon.